Millionaires. Video game millionaires. Now that's interesting. Oh gosh. Hello everyone, let's start!
Dear everybody.
Dear everybody.
Hi, it's me, Austin.
Hello.
And it is finally time. I have heard your cries. I have seen your pleas. I have come around to the point of the month where I'm finally out of ideas, and it is yet time again to do the much anticipated sequel.
The quest to find the richest video game character of all time. All sounds super credible.
To my video on the world's richest video game characters, which, if you have not watched it yet, you absolutely should. Today we're going to be continuing on with this work in progress series project thing where we left off figuring out who the richest characters in video gaming are, ranking them in order, and finding out who sits at the top, which last time I did the math was somewhat surprising. But I'm not gonna rest my laurels on the math I did for my last episode, because since then I have learned a lot more about wealth and value and the best ways to assess them, and
That's right, it's always good to learn from our mistakes and have room for improvements, which is absolutely wonderful.
I'm ready to flex my new brain muscles that have been gifted to me by the one, the only, Adam Smith. Adam Smith was a Scot in the mid to late 18th century and was a pivotal contributor to the Enlightenment by analyzing the market revolutions that were going on all over the world. Prior to the Enlightenment, something called mercantilism,
Enlightenment, the mercantilist,
was the core economic policy.
mercantilist.
The belief that there was a finite amount of wealth in the world and the best way to enrich your country was to hoard all of it. The Enlightenment economists challenged this idea by being like, but what if trade is good and like not bad? And
But what if trade is good and not like bad and everybody just benefited from it? You know, just make everybody be more understanding, be more respectful, be more friendly, be more wholesome, and be more welcoming, inclusive.
it's a bit more complicated than that, but this is a video about numbers, not philosophy, so I will be as brief as I can. In his classic book, An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, often shortened to Wealth of Nations because of course it is, Adam Smith goes over, well, a lot, honestly. It's 520 pages long and has 131,000 words. But his most important observations, aside from the going-ons of free-ish markets and the importance of worker organization to maintain fair negotiating powers with the hiring class, was his idea of the labor theory of value.
Labor theory of value. It can be improved. It's a good model, but it can be improved.
The idea is actually pretty simple, and it's actually why when I did the original video, I didn't want to just count how much weight in gold someone had and then value it at the current cost of gold in the United States. While it's true that precious metals have always had some degree of value throughout all of human history, the value has been inconsistent for over 1,000 different reasons over the centuries. And the reason it had value wasn't because of some inherent valueness metal has. Rather, it's the work or the labor required to extract it and process it. This is the labor theory of value, meaning that it's the work required to make something that gives something value.
Labor theory of value.
Not its material cost. It makes sense, right? A chair costs more to buy than the raw material cost of the wood required to build it. And the only real reason wood has a cost at all is because someone had to take the time to cut down the tree, haul it away, dry it, and turn it into lumber. The real currency of humanity isn't copper, silver, gold, or pieces of paper, or numbers in your bank account. It's time.
I beg to differ, madame. You omit the most important ingredient in gingerbread.
Time.
Time.
This is something I tried to address in my first video by sidestepping valuing precious metals in pretty much every game, but in so doing, I missed the point entirely, and in several entries ended up falling into the exact same trap by valuing something else as a commodity, like the water in Fallout, potatoes in Skyrim, and what was it, a bathtub in The Sims? I won't even tell you the dumb process I had for The Witcher. If anything, I was looking at the wrong commodity all along. And thankfully, I have Adam Smith to help me out with that. From century to century, corn is a better measure than silver because from century to century, equal quantities of corn will command the same quantity of labor more nearly than equal quantities of silver.
True. He didn't mention gold.
Now, a couple of things
He didn't mention yeast or bread.
are important to note here. For one, in Smith's time, corn wasn't just this. It was a term used to describe all grains: wheat, barley, oats, rye, and maize, or sometimes what they called Indian corn. Another thing, and this would be more obvious if I'd used a much longer and much more boring quote from Smith, is that he's not necessarily saying that the price of a kernel of wheat in 1870 is the same as the price in 2007. The broader point that he's making is that currencies fluctuate a lot based on individual behavior, how much metals are cut by, and various other factors, whereas the value of an hour of a man or woman's time is much more stable, and farming, being one of the world's oldest professions, is a great way to assess value. So whenever possible, moving forward, we're going to use this idea of labor being the actual currency of value to assess the wealth of various video game characters, and it also means that we're going to have to redo several entries that I already did, but that leads us to some exciting new upsets. Are you ready? I am so freaking ready. Let's get farming!
Let's get farming. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. Let's start.
Okay, first we have Fallout 4. In our last video, we calculated that with 4,527.9 real-world work hours of work time and 3,000 caps per hour, the fastest cap acquisition method I could find, that nets you a whopping 13,583,700 caps in-game. With my previous method of valuing the currency by just tying it to water, we came up with a paltry $190,000. Let's see what we can do about that. And like Adam Smith suggested, we're going to use corn, because why not? In Fallout, one farm worker can produce 6 food units per cycle. Corn is worth 0.5 food, and therefore one farm worker can produce 12 ears of corn per growth cycle. Food
What is ear of corn?
takes 17 in-game hours to grow, so with daily labor and timely harvesting, a single farm worker can produce 6,183 ears of corn per year. By comparison, in the United States, where almost half of the world's 2.2 million farms produce corn with approximately 162 ears of corn per bushel and 1.45 workers per farm, workers produce over 110,000 ears of corn per year.
Wow, the ratio is so much different. Wow, technology really does help.
Productivity goes a long way. At 700 bushels per worker per year, a bushel weight of 25.4 kilograms per bushel, and a salary of $21,840 per year, this boils down to a labor cost per kilogram of corn produced of $1.23. Meanwhile, corn retails at $7.19 per kilogram, meaning the retail cost is 585% the cost of the labor required to make it. The retail cost of corn in the Fallout 4 wasteland is an average of 6 caps, meaning the labor cost should be about 5.85 times less, meaning it takes about 1.025 caps to make 1 ear of corn. Given the labor is the same, we can presume that a year's labor for a Fallout farmer is more or less equal to a farm laborer's now, even though their productivity is lower. Dividing the farm worker salary of $21,840 by the total number of ears of corn produced per year by a farm worker, we get a labor cost of that ear of corn in US dollars of $3.53. Then we flip back, multiply this by 5.85 to get the retail cost of corn in Fallout, $20, almost 21. Then we divide this by 6, the retail value of corn in the Fallout universe in caps, which gets us $3.45, the actual value of a bottle cap in today's money.
Wow, that's a lot of different calculations and mathematics. Yeah.
Now, finally, we can multiply this by the total fortune you can amass as a sole survivor if you dedicate yourself to the most efficient farming methods, and we jump from $190,000 to a whopping $46.8 million. Yeah! What can we learn from this? What we can learn from this, I think, is that subsistence farming probably makes more sense in Fallout than going to the grocery store. This raises the sole survivor from dead last in our last video to the 23rd richest character in all of gaming. Quite the comeback, I would say, which means we have to go over some other corrections so I can blow your freaking mind! So, let's just go down the list. Luigi has been bumped to last place with just over $1 million. Mario is immediately after him with $16.8 million, which brings us to The Sims. The next game I messed up by using a stupid unit like a freaking bathtub. I have no idea what I was thinking. Thankfully,
using bathtub as a measurement is like, why? Why?
Labor theory of value applies really easily to this game. Remember, through the epically efficient method of selling paintings, it's possible to earn a whopping 41.4 million simoleons during the natural lifetime of a sim. And you know, I totally forgot until I was redoing this that you can actually get a job in The Sims, and considering their world is basically a carbon copy of ours, we can easily compare what a sim gets paid for their labor to what someone with the same job in the United States gets. The office assistant job is the best job to compare in this way, and it pays 20 simoleons per hour. In real life, office assistants get paid an average of $13.16 per hour.
And that is before 2020 hits, where 2020 was a big shuffle for the entire world, society, as we know it. So, take this with a grain of salt, alright? Please take this with a grain of salt. This video came out in the year 2019, literally a few months before 2020 hits, so...
Meaning that a simoleon is worth approximately 66 cents, turning our 41.4 million simoleons into $27.2 million. A drop, to be sure, from 57.9 million, but it is really not bad for an artist. Kind of amazing, to be entirely honest. Okay, so the next one is our sole survivor, of course, and then we have another upset from our last video, the Dovahkiin from Skyrim. This one was a bit tricky. Farm owners will pay you in-game for harvesting your plants, but the plants only grow about every 10 in-game days, giving you only 36.5 harvests per year. This creates some really paltry payouts if you work for only one farm, which would dramatically increase the value of Septim. So I said to myself, if I were a farmer in Skyrim, I would roam from farm to farm, helping them harvest so I could maximize my profits while avoiding downtimes. And instead of making only 2,000 gold septims per year at the best paying farm, you could make over 21,498 gold septims per year in all of Skyrim, which sounds way more like a living wage to me. In fact, dividing the farm worker salary from before by this amount yields a gold value of 98 cents, almost 1 gold per dollar, meaning that our efficient farming method from before that gets you 67.9 million gold gets you a sweet pile of $66.9 million in today's money to sit on. A nice raise from the $37.4 million from last video.
It's still within millions range, but it's a good increase.
Next is the Pokemon protagonist. We have already valued the in-game currency as best as we can, and, well, remember my payday episode? Providing they don't crash the economy from all their making of money from nothing or stealing it from people's bank accounts, they can score a sweet 341,061,328.6 Pokédollars per year, which is a nice salary of 1.3 million real-world dollars per year. Basically, your average run-of-the-mill CEO. After a sweet 60 years of doing this, since they can start at age 10, they can rack up a stack of $79.8 million. Bam! Pokemon training does not pay, but printing your own money definitely does.
Using now as a printer for
I'm
money.
running out of time for this episode, and I really want to talk about this really cool thing in detail, so we are gonna skip number 20, but I promise you, I will get to it, and it is worth the wait. The last of my corrections from the last video is Steve and Alex from Minecraft. I previously valued
Minecraft!
emeralds, which 20 can buy one piece of wheat, which I estimated to be about 21 grams of flour per piece using cookie recipes, at 11 cents per emerald. Given the most efficient emerald farming methods, you can accrue 377 million emeralds in your career in the Minecraft world, and this gives us $44 million. Boo! Pui! We can do so much better than that.
You can do so much better
The
than that.
average farmer in Minecraft works a plot of 56 wheat, which grow to completion in about one full Minecraft day, meaning a single farmer can produce over 20,000 thingies of wheat per year. Dividing the salary of a farm worker by this wheat output means that each piece of wheat is worth roughly $1 and some change in labor. Dividing the retail cost of one piece of wheat, 20 emeralds, by 5.85, we can estimate that the labor cost is approximately
Wait. Why did he pause? What happened?
Production Austin here in the future proofing this video, and I realize I used an old and wrong number here. I divided by 12.38 instead of 5.85, which gives me a dramatically wrong answer. Thankfully, while this changes the answer, it does not disrupt the ranking, as Alex and Steve actually still make just enough to beat out the previous mystery contender. The actual labor cost is 3.417 emeralds, and an emerald is actually worth 31 cents. So, lots of moving parts in this video.
1.615 emeralds, which means
So take this part with a grain of salt.
that an
alright?
emerald
Just
is
take it with a
actually
grain of
worth
salt.
31
cents.
31.
Bam!
31 cents.
Times 377 million emeralds means you can accrue an amazing fortune of $2
117.9.
million. Yeah!
I just really like it that you just like, oh my, yeah, the post-production voice.
Next up is actually probably the most challenging one on my entire list of characters. Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher.
Oh, The Witcher! I really like the game, the books, and also, not to mention, Henry Cavill's, the show. Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh.
Oh boy. Oh, this guy. It's kind of well established in the lore that these dudes are not paid well at all for the terrible job they have to do, and we will definitely get to that, because while that is true, in The Witcher 3 you can make absolute bank by forgoing being a witcher and instead becoming an arms dealer and a murderer. If you skip everything you're supposed to do and commit mass murder against these dudes in this one castle, collect their weapons and sell them en masse, you can make 85,000 crowns per real-world hour.
Know that you are committing mass murderers in a game, so please don't. follow the proper path.
Taking into account the time scale in The Witcher of 15, this gives us 6,037 career hours in which to farm these dudes, since he's a Witcher and has an elongated lifespan, meaning you can make a total of 514,162,000 crowns. Holy crap! But what does that actually mean? You see, figuring out how much wheat or corn or oats costs in retail and backtracking is just not an option because they just don't exist in this game, and doing a census of the farms and wheat fields in game yielded nothing of value. So I reapproached my method and decided to try something different. You see, in medieval eras, we actually did calculate value by labor too, even before Smith documented it in his book. A goose, for example, would cost the average laborer 6 days worth of wages to buy. A pound of cheese was about half a day, a whole cow was 3 months of work,
A side of bacon is 15 days?
a shirt was 8 days, and using these recorded values from historians and archaeologists, actually it's not archaeologists, what is it? What the is that career? It's not archaeology. Shit. Anthropology, that's the one.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, that's the one.
Excuse me. In using these recorded values from historians and anthropologists, we can turn this obscure 514 million crowns into something real using the most powerful currency of all, eggs. 2 dozen eggs. Eggs in the 16th century would cost you about a day's work of wages, which is not too shabby. In The Witcher 3, 1 egg costs 7 crowns. 2 dozen is 168 crowns. The average wage of 1 full day's work of a farm laborer in 2019 is 84 bucks, making a crown worth exactly 50 cents. And
No, that he mentions in 2019. When 2020 hits, the number changed drastically. So please take these results with a grain of salt. Thank you.
Well, I did not do that on purpose, and I didn't mess up my math. It is actually 50 cents exactly by coincidence. Amazing. This makes Geralt's take-home retirement fund a smooth $250 million. Holy crap! Even more interestingly, I averaged the amount of money every single contract in The Witcher 3 pays, and Witchers on average get paid 179.7 crowns per job. That is slightly over a day's work for a subsistence farmer. Are you freaking kidding me? They get
In comparison to the farmer, seriously?
paid absolute crap. That's 89 bucks to kill a freaking werewolf. That is not worth it. And that, my friends, is all that I have time for today. I would have gotten through more, but I really felt like I needed to redo some of those original entries with my new information. But do not worry, because this means that you're gonna get one more episode. The mother of all episodes. The final fight, where we find out once and for all who is the real, actual, richest character in gaming. We haven't even touched Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, Fallout New Vegas, or Red Dead Redemption yet. We got legit, terrifyingly high numbers to go. It is all uphill from here, friends. It is about to get real, it's about to get epic, and I promise to do the finale before 2019 is over. And until then,
Let's
subscribe
go.
for more theories, and let's get this bread. Sincerely, Austin.
Sincerely, Austin. I really like it that he mentioned that he's trying to do this every single thing before 200 hits, because by 2020 hits, the skill is going to change drastically. Just saying. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you can share us. Thank you so much, and I sincerely appreciate all of your support. Thank you all of you for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Alright, let's go. In the meantime, do remember that it's all just a science video. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video came up from the YouTube channel The Game Terrorists. This video came out in the year 2019, so I think it's around 2 years ago, and I hope that all of you show support and watch more of my videos from the YouTube channel The Game Terrorists. Thank you all so much, and hope that I sincerely appreciate all of you for your support and appreciation for my work and for their work as well. I'm a huge fan of their work, just a huge fan of their work, so yeah. The signs of